फायदा जलिल दे रहा से चैंपियंस लीग एक हाथ गैस में हैंगुमन किक पे जब ये नरमने भागी दुलाने भी दी दस्ते गोल एक गन्नाई सिट सरसने समरोक वेने साथ देने We are one game, one heart. One game, one heart. Champions League, this is where we start. Together we dream, together we fight. We are the champions. The call is clear, the Champions League is finally one game, one heart, Champions League, this is where we start. Together we dream, together we fight, we are the champions. That we defend. മരങ്ങൾ കിക്കാകുമേ കഴുത്തിലൂറുതിയായി മിന്നുവുമാവേ ചാമ്പ്യൻസ് ലീഗ് പറവേ ഉണർവതൊക്കെ തരുമേ ചിയക്കായി കെമ്മക് തന്നെ കൊല്ലോ സെറ്റക്കമ എക് വെന്നെ ഗോൾ എකට കിക്ക് එක දෙන්නේ ചാമ്പ്യൻസ് ലീഗ് में അരമെന്നെ Champions League, Saturday aramenne, dibidenne, jayaganne, ekasihinata apiyanne. One game, one heart, Champions League where dreams take part. Raise your flags, feel the art. Football, one game, one heart. Hey oh, one dream, one star. Hey oh, one game, one heart. Champions League, forever we play. The spirit of
welcome to the Racecourse International Stadium here from the heart of Colombo City for yet another game week of the Sri Lanka Football Champions League match number 31 kicking off, and once again Negombo Youth, pride of Negombo, taking on what has proven to be the minnows of this tournament, Sri Lanka Transport Board. It's a hot day today in Colombo, 31 degrees. Little cloudy, so the sun is not shining directly on the players, which will be a relief, but slightly lower humidity than most of the evenings we've had during the course of this tournament. 15 kilometers per hour wind speed, so steady wind speed here as well. And I know you're watching us, but if you want to share some other platforms for friends and family to join in watching this Champions League encounter, don't forget Sri Lanka Football's Facebook and YouTube pages are home to the Champions League as a Supreme TV, which is the terrestrial broadcaster. And from anywhere in the world, join us on ThePapare.com. And here are the results from the last game week. Crystal Palace winning 3-0 against Sri Lanka Transport Board, followed by Saunders, who won 1-0 against New Star. Java Lane winning 2-1 against Negombo Youth, solid, dropping into a 6-1 win against Murugas Muller. St. Mary's in a surprise loss to Super Sun 1-2, and Mathura City losing out to Pelicans SC from Kurunegala 1-4. And now here is your Group A points table. Sri Lanka Transport Board rooted to the bottom of the table, having played 5 games with a 27 negative goal difference. New Star on top with 12 points, followed by Saunders, Serendib, who are very close behind each other with 10 and 9 points respectively. Java Lane and Crystal Palace also on 4 points. Negombo Youth above the bottom feeders, but with just 1 point. They're going to want to use this opportunity to try and claw their way up the table.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome the two teams, SLTB Sports Club and the Negombo Youth.
And here are the fixtures for this game week. Sri Lanka Transport Board taking on Negombo Youth now, followed by Super Sun and Pelicans SC in the late kickoff. Crystal Palace FC take on Serendib tomorrow, followed by Matara City and Solid SC in the nighttime kickoff. And then St. Mary's versus Police. That's going to be an interesting one among the bigwigs, followed by Java Lane taking on Saunders in a clash of Sri Lanka's old guard at 8 p.m. And final formalities now before the start of kickoff. Just the two teams exchanging pleasantries. Negombo Youth in that blue strip taking on SLTB in the white strip. Shanmugaraja Sanjeev going to be leading the charge for Sri Lanka Transport Board, and they are without a number of their players, just 5 substitutes on the bench for today's game. Joining me now here on the commentary space is Rashwan Pereira. Rashwan, big game for Sri Lanka Transport Board, an opportunity to grab something off of the team placed just above them. For Negombo Youth, if they are unable to take a result out of this one, they might as well wave away any remote chances they may have of putting together a surprise.
Indeed, the lads on his screens will really want to try and notch up that win. Both teams coming into this encounter with 0 wins, so it will be a very interesting game of football. How especially Sri Lanka Transport Board, they have been quite off colour all campaign. They have been conceding goals heavily as well, so it will be a very interesting matchup. But Negombo Youth have a point to themselves against Saunders, where they played off a thrilling game, where that game ended 2-2. So Negombo Youth will expect to get all 3 points and go home tonight.
Absolutely, Rashwan. And one final little picture before the start of the game. Here's your referees for this afternoon. Taranga Pushpungara blowing the whistle, to be assisted by Kushan Indika and Asif Ashkar. Hiranta Pumal going to be the 4th official for this game.
Tailor-made conditions for a good game of football here at the Racecourse Stadium. As we take a look at the Sri Lanka Transport Board starting 11, R. Udeshant, Janaka Chaminda, who has been one of the best players for them, and stand-in skipper Shanmugaraja Sanjeev, Nuwan Jayavir, S. Ratnag, Anglo Emmanuel, Lakshanta Dinar, Mohammad Minhaj, Nuan Edward, Mohammad Izyan, and to form the playing 11 for SLTB in goal will be Sudesh Suranga.
And very quickly having a look at your Negombo youth lineup, Ganesh Krishanta is going to be keeping and wearing the captain's armband as well. In defence, Sandhu Niroshan, Mohammad Vasji taking charge. A heavy midfield presence, Mohammad Dakim, Malisha Pereira, Mohammad Rifkan and Sulakshana Pires. While in the forward positions, Niluka Janit, Chatumal Fernando and Anthony Namdi. So a very attacking lineup from the Negombo lads to take the game to SLTB. They've got a very packed bench available to them as well. Sebastian Caleb came on in the last game and performed well. But for Sri Lanka Transport Board, on the contrary, not a great deal of options as we wait for kickoff.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've been waiting for. Let the countdown begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's kickoff here. It's a week 6, the penultimate week of this round 1 of the Sri Lanka Football Champions League. It's SLTB taking on Negombo Youth. Two teams who have are yet to rather get a win in the campaign. So both teams will be playing for plenty of pride. It's Negombo Youth. An early chance of attack. But wins an early corner. But referee Taranga Pushpakumara thinks otherwise and gives a free kick for Sri Lanka Transport Board to get out of jail, as they have done on plenty of occasions throughout this campaign.
Penetrating early play there by Negombo Youth, very nearly putting Mohammad Rifkan through on goal, but he just couldn't control it. And as a result now, a free kick in the first minute. Ganesh Krishanta, I beg your pardon, that was Sudesh Suranga. Sudesh Suranga sends it straight back at Negombo Youth, and Negombo Youth once again will feel that they can take something out of this one. Here's an opportunity now to break into the box. Very nearly gets the cross in, but too much of a heavy touch there. Goes out for a goal kick.
Surely Sri Lanka Transport Board, the lads in white, will have to do plenty of defensive work. Negombo Youth, even though they haven't been able to notch up a win, they had an impressive game against Saunders Sports Club, where they drew that game 2-2. But since then things haven't gone their way. But this evening they'll really hope that they'll manage to get all 3 points. The Sri Lanka Transport Board trying to switch the defense into attack and wins a free kick.
I think that's Nuan Jayavira there. Takes a bit of a tumble just as he's trying to get away from his marker, and what SLTB need to do, and what they did very well in the last game but didn't really convert that into a result, is to frustrate the opponents and get through to the half-time interval with a respectable scoreline, ideally 0-0. The ball coming in. Chatumal Fernando on the turn, using this left flank in these early moments. Breaking in here, Negombo Youth, ball falls to Chatumal Fernando. Chatumal Fernando's pass coming off Rifkan, and Rifkan now chasing it. Namdi very really getting onto the edge of that one, but Now Janaka Chaminda in the middle of the park. He has been the live wire for Sri Lanka Transport Board. Anthony Namdi releasing Sulakshana Piris on that far side. Namdi very nearly, just a yard short in pace. He would have run onto the edge of that one.
Indeed, good passage of play. Negombo Youth really attacking well here, but they'll need to find the finishing touches sooner or later. But still early days in this game. Now breaking down that left flank, having options in the middle, but just delayed that pass. And what have Negombo Youth done there? They have absolutely made a big mess of that. And I think they'll have themselves to blame, not being able to find the back of the net.
Absolutely. Few errors there on the part of Negombo Youth lads. Sulakshana Pereira, sorry. His first pass should have found Anthony Namdi. He decides to square it after taking an extra touch. But from that point on, there should be a lot better quality in terms of the finish, and just falling short massively on that occasion.
Indeed, some may think who was defending on that occasion. But SLTB can breathe a little in the back now, as Negombo Youth have done them a big favour.
Also interesting to see how Niluka Janit has started this game as well on the right flank. Was on the bench in the previous games. He has an opportunity now for Namdi, but good interception. Mohammad Rif Khan, but just headed too square, falling into Sudesh Ranga's arms. Looking for a pass now. Namdi again, looking to play behind. Just falling short again. Niluka Jani twisting and turning. The hopeful ball doesn't find Anthony Namdi, and very nearly, I think he's played onside by Janaka Chaminda there. Chatumal Fernando trying to get the ball out, and now Sulakshana Piris with space to run into. Piris, and with all that space and all that time, he hits it straight at the defender.
Bulk of the defensive work in this first 6.5 minutes have been done by Sri Lanka Transport Board. Negombo Youth still not clinical enough up front. Corner kick coming up. There's Niluka Janit. Gives it to Piris. Piris. Good pass there, but good defensive work coming in as well. But can see Negombo Youth just not clinical enough. And some may think, are they taking this match a bit lightly? But as we speak, down that left flank, where they have quite often put those balls in, and a shot from range, but deflected for, rather no deflection, so it will be a throw-in, rather goal kick in favour of Sri Lanka Transport Board. Playing football in their own half. Good rush from the attackers of Negombo Youth. Put some pressure on this Sri Lanka Transport Board defensive outfit.
It's been all Negombo Youth so far, Ishwan. And the likes of Sanmugaraja Sanjay, they won't be pleased with that. In the last game when he did come on, he did have quite an impact, and that's a very depleted looking SLTB bench there. Just 5 substitutes available, and the shot comes in from distance, and what a shot that was! Absolutely against the run of play. Sri Lanka Transport Board has hit a belter, and we were just talking a moment ago about how Shanmugaraja Sanjeev has had a different dimension to this attack and had a good game last week, and he's had a belter. What a screamer that was. Absolutely no chance for Ganesh Krishanta. And SLTB for the first time in this tournament have the lead,
SLTB with the
and
first
Negombo
goal in
youth
the
have
game,
nobody to blame
courtesy
but
jersey
themselves.
number 9 from SLTB Sports Club.
Just another look at that. Shanmugaraja Sanjeev knew exactly where the goal was and took a hit, doesn't even look up.
Indeed, Deshan, and what a goal to get your first goal as well. First goal in the whole campaign for Sri Lanka Transport Board, and probably a contender for the goal of the season as Negombo Youth now. And Sri Lanka Transport Board will do all their life to try and defend this in the next 80 minutes or so.
Suddenly, the way this game was played out has changed completely.
Goal scorer, skipper Shanmugaraja Sanjeev. What a brilliant goal for Sri Lanka Transport Board. Shot from range, probably caught Ganesh Krishant, the opposition goalkeeper Negombo Youth, off guard. That was a real form of attack, first form of attack for SLTB as well, Deshan. They have managed to break the deadlock. That will be quite concerning for Negombo Youth now. They had plenty of chances in those opening 8 minutes or so, but good football being played here. Spreading that ball out to right flank. Now under a lot of pressure, Sri Lanka Transport Board forced to put it out as a throw in favor of Negombo Youth.
Driving now down the middle. Case for the ball going out of bounds, so it is a goal kick, but taking no chances there either. So there's Suranga making sure he captures that one. Janaka Chaminda been rather silent this game so far.
Indeed, by far one of the best players for Sri Lanka Transport Board throughout this campaign. His experience will really come into play as they have a lead for the first time. They'll do everything to try and protect that lead.
Now the question begs. The question did beg for a long time. Can SLTB get some goals? Now that they have, can they keep the lead? And as Negombo Youth knocking on this door. Here comes the cross. Straight at the defender. And now Negombo Youth will be frustrated with how the game has panned out so far. Cross coming in potentially. Janaka Chaminda there makes the angle difficult. Here's the ball. That should be 2. That's the second goal. And making no mistakes, the number 27 Sulakshana Piri scores the second goal in the game. And Sri Lanka Transport Board, their lead lasted just a moment. hand up, asking for a offside flag potentially for Surakshana Piris, but an absolute mess of it by Lakshanta Dinar, who absolutely misses the effort. But some very poor football there on the part of SLTB. Just not acceptable at this level.
Indeed, they'd have done a lot better to try and prevent that. But that's not the case for the lads in white. After that unlikely lead in that 9th minute, they had just the 5 minutes where they had that lead. As now once again we're back to where it all began. It's 1-1 here as now SLTB dribbling his way through the defense. But no nonsense defensive work coming in from Negombo Youth in the back. Courtesy Jude Shehan.
Once again, throw in now for SLTB. They've got the mountain to climb yet again. Well done there by Chatumal Fernando. Chatumal Fernando gets past one man, gets past another, and now Niluka Janit. Ball finds its way down this left flank. Once again with Malisha Piris. Malisha Piris, can he put the ball into the box? He tries to dribble past Janaka Chaminda like a wall. Janaka Chaminda gets in the way. Play stop now to have a look at Malisha Piris, who potentially has got a knock. Nothing major there, and play continues. And here we continue. SLTB now looking for options in the middle. Chatumal Fernando picks the ball up. Beautiful little pass there. Is it too much on it? Looks like there might be too much on it. Sudesh Suranga trying to watch it go out of bounds. Yes, he does that very well.
Watchful from the Sri Lanka Transport Board goalkeeper.
Sudesh Suranga is at a terrible tournament, hasn't he, Reshwan? Picking up the ball from that back of the net more than any other player.
Indeed, he's conceded many goals. That's been the case for SLTB. They've conceded and conceded quite heavily. And today as well, it just took 40 minutes to concede their first goal. Another good ball being played. All eyes on the assistant as he raises his flag. Indeed, an easy decision for the assistant referee, but nevertheless now still in good attacking area are Negombo Youth. And Chaminda coming to the rescue on this occasion and heading it out for a corner. But Negombo Youth well and surely knocking on the door now to try and get their second.
And you look at Janit there. Nice little touch to get past the defender. Creates an opening for himself. And drives into that space. Tries to be smart as well there. Now, want some assistance there from the bench. Ratnayaka in that number 11 shirt. Nothing much in that, is there, Yashwan? I think him and Jude Chehan just clashing. And not like Sri Lanka Transport Board has many options on the bench either.
Indeed, just the 5 men on the bench with the substitute goalkeeper as well. So not much to play with for the lads in white. The last thing they'll want is to be forced to make a change. And as Deshan mentioned, not much in that challenge. But looks like he's had a bad fall, we could say. Still down. Assistance from the medical team.
So Negombo Youth on parity. Coach Karunaratna will be pleased that after that initial shock they've restored normalcy as we complete 20 minutes in this game so far. Not the most inspiring 20 minutes of football we've seen in this tournament, but still 2 goals, Rashwan.
Indeed, and I think that was not on the cards. I think goals were on offer this evening, but not so early. It's been 20 minutes and we've already seen 2, so hopefully that will carry on. Is now Sri Lanka Transport Board trying to form a attack there, yet to get a touch in the opposition box. Deshan, even though they have that goal, scored the goal from probably 30 yards out. Will be interesting to see on how long they will take to get a touch inside the opposition penalty area. But now as we speak, a touch that will just probably beat everyone, but managing to keep it alive and probably win a corner. And Sri Lanka Transport Board with their first corner. Took SLTB 21 minutes or so to get their first touch in the penalty area of Negombo Youth. First corner, whips it in, but doesn't beat the first defender. And once again, these are not going to be good signs for SLTB as their skipper and goal scorer down in some discomfort as the medical team is out in a jiffy. And has he done some damage to himself? Shanmugaraj Sanjeev scored a screamer of a goal to give SLTB the lead, which just lasted the 5 minutes. And things not looking so good. A concerning looking bench as well, as referee Taranga Pushpakumara has just told stretchers to stay off. Skipper Sanjeev now gradually getting back on his feet. He's done some damage probably to that groin area, and this won't be good news for Sri Lanka Transport Board. He hasn't done much except for that screamer of a goal here, where he gave SLTB the lead in that 8th or 9th minute, which didn't last for long, but play back on as Sri Lanka Transport Board will play with just the 10 men as skipper getting some assistance.
Oh. a few problems that do arise from this. And primarily, I think the big one being what happens now to the attack. Do they have the bandwidth in the substitutes to try and make the changes? And more importantly, Sanjay more or less is the attack for SLTB, so are they going to remain toothless up front? Or it's not a good sign, particularly I think, at least from our view here as well, we didn't see a great deal of force in terms of a clash, but what we did see was he started grabbing his groin after he came down, and potentially came down the wrong way, isn't it?
Indeed, and it didn't look so bad in the first viewing, but he's really felt something. That will be probably a very big loss for SLTB up front. After starting this game quite impressively, can they just settle it back in for this game? The man with the captain's armband yet to come on to the playing field. Sri Lanka Transport Board continue to play with just the 10 men, and Chaminda with a clearance, but straight for a throw in, as Negombo Youth will look to throw this one quickly. Whips this ball into the lone man in that penalty area. First time cross.
Good idea there from Nilko Janit as well to leave it, but we can't. And now getting circled back. Satamal Fernando. And now suddenly it falls. Needs to be releasing the ball here. Lucky ricochet, still going. You look at Janit, good footwork there. Satamal Fernando shoots from distance, a very tame effort.
Indeed, you'd have done better. He had plenty of time to get that shot out. But a regulation save for Sulakshana Piris. Rather, Sudesh Suranga in goal for SLTB. That shot came off Piris. Once again, good through ball being played, but big stature of Chaminda. That will be quite the challenge for the attackers to get past him in situations like that.
Once again, another throw in now.
Referee Tharanga Pushpakumara just stopping play for a brief period. A water break as it's hot and humid here, sun beating down, and it will be a timely one for both teams as they look to try and play some good football as we approach the end of the first half.
And getting some words in here, Nuan Jaivir as well. It's been one of those games for them. Had a moment of magic, but beyond that, here is that moment of magic. Sanjay, what a hit. Bottom corner, you're not catching those, son.
Indeed, that was just brilliant. And then this was just not good work from SLTB in the back as Sulakshana Piris
Lakshanta Dinara, I think, was at fault for that second goal.
Indeed, it's 1-1 as we approach the half hour mark. It's been a challenging period for SLTB in the back, especially as the players make their way after that brief water break. And a forced change for SLTB.
And what that will do now, with Jagat Rohana coming on for Sanjay, is it's going to really take the teeth out of that attack. Just when you thought after a while one or two things are going to go in their favour, they swung the other way. And here's an opportunity. Niluka Janit coming down this flank. Niluka Janit looking for support. He's trying to go all his way. And the ball ends up going out for a corner. He should have released it just a little bit sooner, Niluka Janit. It's not quite as successful, but the corner now to be taken by none other than Mohammad Akim, the midfielder, swinging this one with his right foot, and the ball comes in. Good save by Sudesh Suranga, gets rid of it. And now Negombo Youth looking to recycle possession. Ball comes in, offside by inches.
SLTB have quite often trapped this attacking line of Negombo Youth up front, and this, I think, the second time they've caught them offside, opting for that high line in defense. SLTB, but they'll have to be careful with that. And just as we speak, well, that was quite the communication error, we could say. It was a brilliant ball being played. And the player in that offside position got that first touch. And he just couldn't believe it. And we as well just couldn't believe it, Deshan.
Well, what careless play by Niluka Janit. He was yards offside. You can see the man coming after it. And that very clearly is a lack of football IQ. To not gauge the fact that you are acres offside, your teammate is onside. Had he waited for his teammate to get the first touch and then proceeded to support the attack, he could have carved out an opportunity for himself. But no, just way too greedy there by Niluka Janit.
Indeed, not so good from Negombo Youth. And in this day and age, we expect more clinical stuff from these players. Pires now.
Malisha Pires trying to get it. So Suranga taking no chances. Ball goes out for a goal kick. But once again, if we can have another look at that, we will. That offside call. And for those of you watching at home, it's not the way you use your football IQ.
Indeed. And hopefully those mistakes won't come to bite them in the end. Negombo Youth, they've had opportunities to try and get a couple of goals here. And now once again, SLTB with still good attacking move, a good through ball being played, but not much of options. And now once again, Negombo Youth have found themselves quite lazy in the back, we could say. Unfortunately, SLTB not so clinical up front. Haven't damaged the scorecard for Negombo Youth.
And now running onto this ball down this flank. Negombo Youth with the opportunity to get the ball into the box. Namdi may be offside. But although Namdi was, Malisha Pereira was not. He just couldn't get enough purchase on it. Once again having a look at that little foul. Malisha Pereira caught by the defender. No comms about it. But we now have an SLTB man hitting the deck as well. Had far too many of these breaks over the course of this tournament, haven't we, Reshwan?
Indeed, injuries have really just damaged the stem of the game, the flow of the game, we could say. Plenty of games have been stop-start affairs. That does not help in any cause, as it could get quite some time as well. Surely a bulk of minutes will be added on at the end of 45.
And now 2 men off the pitch. Niluka Janit standing over the free kick. He's had a mixed bag of a game, Niluka Janit. He's been everywhere but no real output. Takes this shot. And what a hit that was. Just not quite finding the right direction, and one may wonder, was that really necessary?
Indeed, from so far out, attempting to go at goal can be quite unrealistic. But Niluka Janit thinks otherwise. Final 10 minutes of this first half. We've seen goals in the 9th minute and the 14th minute. So not much to separate the two sides. But if we talk stats, I think Negombo Youth have had plenty of opportunities, but not being able to find the back of the net.
Keeping things moving, but what they need to do urgently is to get that goal and get that lead. Moving forward. Malisha Pereira, nice little touch. Malisha Pereira looking to run into space. Looks back. Niluka Janit. Twisting and turning. Malisha Pereira available on the inside. Niluka Janit once again. Possession. He really needs to get his act together.
Indeed, he had so many options near him, but opted to put that ball into a single man in that penalty area. Niluka Janit has had quite a forgetful first half here, as Sudesh Suranga taking his time.
Pereira led attack, and now Madiluka done it just a bit too much on him. So this one, you're happy to take his stand and just the ball roll out to the back.
Sudesh Shuranga taking his time and kicks it downfield. Once again, Sri Lanka Transport Board really looking to catch this Negombo youth in the back, but just a wayward cross, nothing was on it. This is now Sri Lanka Transport Board as we approach the 40th minute of this first half. 5 minutes left on the clock, plus added time. Chaminda in the back once again cleared his lines.
Changing hands here once again. Malaysia Pereira losing possession and SLTB with the free kick. He's been a ghost of his former self team. Ball now once again for SLTB down this left flank. Trying to keep it moving. Talking about Fernando. Lost the ball for a second. Once again. One of these teams playing hopeful long ball football.
Indeed, long balls haven't worked so far for both teams. But just as we approach that half time, teams just trying something out of the book. But now once again, a shot from range and almost he saw Ganesh Krishant, the goalkeeper of Negombo Youth, off his lines, and a valiant effort on goal from Nuan Jayavira, if I'm not mistaken. And valiant effort from Sri Lanka Transport Board as we see breaking from this counter as Rifkan having options, gives it out to the number 25 who takes his time and who's absolutely made a mess of that shot. And you expect much better in areas like that from attacking players like Negombo Youth.
Yeah, I don't know what he tried to do. They tried to side-foot it almost and curl it. Ends up absolutely skying that effort. Didn't make a lot of sense what he tried to do. Once again now, Negombo Youth, they conceded the first goal against the run of play, and many would say that it's a result of complacency that they were temporarily behind, and based on how they're attacking at the moment and not really converting these chances, one could argue once again that they are in fact providing SLTB with an opportunity to score against the run of play and potentially take something away from this game.
Indeed, if Negombo Youth end this game as it is now. They'll take a point away, and they'll absolutely be disappointed with that. But Sri Lanka Transport Board will really take anything from this game. And mind you, they are the ones who scored first. Once again playing that high defensive line now, Sri Lanka Transport Board. And a slight nudge from the back, and not so good from the SLTB number 11.
Absolutely, Ratnayaka there. I have no idea what on earth he was thinking. An outright push. You can't do that really, can you?
Indeed, and that was right in front of the assistant referee as well.
Absolutely, and Loshan Fernando, I believe that was, could feel that he's in. And to boot, they had an injury in the first half, which isn't really their fault, but anyway, it just shows a lack of preparation.
Indeed, and talking about that injury as well, Deshan, and it was their goal scorer as well. Didn't do much, but did enough to get that goal. That was his real contribution in that first half, rather in that time he played. Once again, SLTB just taking time, running that clock down. Sri Lanka Transport Board will like how things have gone in this first half. They have got their first goal, so some positive to take from this first 45 minutes for them. But it will be a very tough second 45 minutes coming up for Sri Lanka Transport Board. And mind you, with just the 3 men on the bench, 3 outfield players on the bench who can be used as substitutes, and not much to work with for SLTB.
Javid are not very happy with that, but he gets caught on the ball. Immediately points the finger. Niluka Janit trying to create space on the left, but once again, I don't really understand what on earth that pass was. Sudhe Suranga happy to take his time. Now final 10 seconds of this half.
And referee Itaranga Pushpakumara whistles for half time here. It's been a first half of, we could say, all Negombo youth, but it was Sri Lanka Transport Board who produced a moment of magic from quite far out. It's been an eventful first half if you were a Sri Lanka Transport Board fan. It's all squared at the break. There's a massive second half coming up for both teams. As we look at the halftime score confirmation, Sri Lanka Transport Board 1, Negombo Youth 1. It was that screamer that started off all for Sri Lanka Transport Board, but that just lasted the 5 minutes, that lead. And then that calm and collected finish from Pires gave that decisive equalizing goal for Negombo Youth. But it's been a tamed first half, we could say, even though we have seen a couple of goals. But a very important second 45 minutes coming up on the other side, as we ask all our viewers to stay tuned here from the Racecourse.
Champions League एक हाथ गैस में हैंगुमन किक पे जब ये नरमने भागी दुलाने भी दी दस्ते गोल एक गन्नाई सिट सरसने समरोक विन्ने साथ देने one heart, one game, one heart, Champions League, this is where we start. Together we dream, together we fight, we are the champions. Under the the Champions League is finally one game, one heart, Champions League, this is where we start. Together we dream, together we fight, we are the champions. Under the light, we play for love, pride and pain. Every child who dreams again. No borders here, no fear, no end. Just one dream that we defend. Marangal kikkago me, kadathil arudiyai minnavum naave. Champions League varave, unarvadukku thorume. Cheer ekai kammak denne, kollo set ekama ek wenne. Goal ekata kick ek denne. Champions League में अरमने one game, one heart, Champions League साटनाई अरमने दिल्ली देने जायगने एक सीनेट अभियाने one game, one heart, Champions League where dreams take part. Raise your flags, feel the art. Football, one game, one heart. Hey, oh, one dream, one star. Hey, oh, one game, one heart.
Okay.
That day he was drunk, he had put me in the fourth. If he was in second floor, picture negative.
But ගොඩ ගන්න අමාරුනේ.
As both teams take on the field and their final hurdle before the all-important second 45 minutes. A massive game for both these two teams. And big question will be, can any of these two teams find a winner and try and get all 3 points? And as things stand, both teams will take a point each. But surely we'll see a winning goal either from Negombo Youth or SLTB.
Absolutely, I think the game is Negombo Youths to lose, and that would have been the messaging at the halftime interval. And in particular, the likes of Anthony Namdi have been invisible almost over the course of the game, which is a cause for concern for Negombo Youth, and that is what they need to be careful about. And that is that kickoff. 45 more minutes to answer the question. Negombo Youth, if they are unable, if they hold on to this result, they'll be first from bottom. But if they concede, the game turns on its head. Suddenly, SLTB will leap over them in the standings. And given the nature of how games have played so far, I think that would be the ultimate insult to injury as well. So they'll be wanting to avoid that.
Indeed, that will be biggest question to be answered for Negombo Youth. A lackluster first half from them up front. Just not clinical enough. And surely they'll hope that that won't come back to bite them.
So important that either of the teams really put their foot down in these early exchanges. Negombo Youth in particular would want to do just that.
Shaminder, probably a bad knock. Sliding challenge from Pires.
I don't think there was any malice there from both parties. I think both of them very honestly were going for the ball.
Indeed. So will be another stoppage for injury. That's been how things have gone throughout this campaign, not only this game. It's been quite stop-start affairs.
And again, I know it's something that we have been raising quite frequently over the course of this tournament, but the conditioning of the players does leave a lot to be desired, and I think particularly SLTB we've had this concern about, but even Negombo Youth, it has been a bit of a problem, and it has been evident in the performances we've seen from both these teams as well, rooted to the bottom of the table. Now Negombo Youth, Niluka Janit trying to stay on side, but doesn't really manage to turn the ball over, and just like that I think offside flag has gone up. Really needs to watch those lines, the number 7 for Negombo Youth. It's not the first time. By the looks of it, won't be the last either, but it's creating unnecessary problems in trying to get these attacks flowing. Now Niluka Janit onside this time. Touch not the greatest, but that fantastic bit of work. Tries to cut back on the inside. Trying to cut back outside. Loses the ball. And now Chatumal Fernando. Chatumal Fernando lifts the ball beautifully. Nobody there. Niluka Janit did everything beautifully there, Reshwan, but just didn't release the ball fast enough.
Indeed, Niluka Janit would have had a forgetful first half for Deshan, and things haven't started the way he would have liked in this second 45 minutes as well.
Once again, another wave of Negombo youth attack. Janaka Chaminda all the way playing almost as a sweeper, really.
Indeed, we have quite seen him in the middle of the park, but I think with the lack of player availability here for SLTB has forced him to play at the back. And he's had an okay game, an average performance. But he'll look to be rock solid in the back for the remainder of this game and try and take this point away.
Not the cheap foul there. Stop-start game this time. Udeshanta. And I think if you were to really go down to the nitty-gritties, even the goal that Negombo youth scored due to an absolute amateur level mistake by Lakshanta Dinara, wasn't it?
Indeed. And if not for that mistake, Negombo youth could have been trailing here. That would have been put massive pressure on the favourites. Once again, just missing out that through pass. Now with yet another opportunity, but just don't understand what he's trying to gain out of that from so far out. He's just managed to find Ganesh with just a regulation save. Those are the points that can be talked to this SLTB outfit. That what are you trying to gain from shooting from so far out, with having attacking options right in front of you as well.
And now once again, ball being hoiked to the middle. Trying to do one thing or the other. Sri Lanka Transport Board get rid of it once again. And Negombo youth now put on the front foot. Here's a beautiful ball coming in. Janaka Chaminda in that middle centre back role. Very different afternoon for him. He's normally driving the team forward. This time he's holding that defence together. Has he taken a bit of a knock? He's limping a little bit as well, but doing his job fantastically well so far. Like I said, if it wasn't for that rather amateurish mistake really on the part of Lakshanta Dinara, the defence of Sri Lanka Transport Board would be proud of what they've accomplished.
Indeed, they've been doing the bulk of defensive work in this game as well. They are really doing well at the back, but can they just keep fort? Once again, Pires getting past his defender, but committing a foul, and has the audacity to question the referee as well.
I think Noah Edward there, very apparent that there was a foul. I think you could see on his face immediately after he made that challenge, he knew he was in trouble. One of those lazy ones where you lose out on the ball and you try to make amends, and you just lash out a little bit.
Indeed. Once again, an opportunity, set piece for Niluka Jalat of Negombo youth, who's had a very ordinary game here in that number 7 jersey. Whips this one in. But Jaivir with a good defensive clearance. As SLTB under some pressure now. But once again, no nonsense defensive coming in from the lads in white.
And you look at Janit again. In the thick of things, he's trying to get involved, and that is encouraging to see, isn't it? Taking one man on the other. Beautiful ball coming in. Now's an opportunity for Negombo Youth, and that's the second one. Long time coming. And finally, Muhammad Hakim scores the second goal for Negombo Youth. And again, this time Niluka Janit doing all the hard work down that right flank.
Second goal for Negombo Youth. Jersey number 9, Muhammad Hakim.
Beautiful bit of footwork there. Inside, outside. Falls to Sulakshan Apiris, who couldn't quite catch it. Almost nutmegged there by that pass, and more or less nutmegged there by the pass rather, and making no mistake, Muhammad Hakim.
Indeed, just what the doctor ordered for Negombo Youth. And they have got that lead quite early on in this second half. So SLTB now once again trailing. Now once again, SLTB. Not much of options up front. Really not helping the cause for the lads in white. And now trailing the game. They were the ones who drew first blood. The latest goal scorer for Negombo Youth, Muhammad Hakim. Made no mistake to get that ball in the back of the net. And now once again with an opportunity to try and get the third, but a wayward cross. And once again we will talk about how the decision making have been so far for Negombo Youth, even though they have that lead. And now SLTB puts that ball in, but a shot from range. This time with much more venom behind it. But Ganesh doing well to keep hold of it.
Yeah, Jagat Rohana just pointing out why there was no second runner behind that shot, and valid point. But the man he was having a go at was responsible for that. So that's a separate story. But the cross coming in here. Negombo Youth now with an opportunity. Niluka Janit once again. He's all over the place, and he's really got quite the battery on him today, hasn't he, Reshwan?
Indeed. He was all over the park in that first half as well. Didn't have the best of first halves, but looking to try and change his fortunes in the second half. Try and better his performance. There's Zapire scanning his options. Sees that through ball. Flag stays down. But good alert goalkeeping from Sudesh Suranga.
Right decision from the referee there. Anthony Namdi did well to hold his run as the cross comes in once again. Now Sulakshan Apiris there trying to turn, twist. Niluka Janit with a speculative shot straight at the keeper, Sudesh Suranga. He's going to take care of those all week long.
Indeed. Once again, a shot from range. Comfortable save. Look at Jalat getting some confidence now. Dribbling his way around. Puts in a good pass. But this time around, good defensive work. And SLTB have done a bulk of it.
Again, Niluka Janit at the middle of that as well. A nice little square pass there to Anthony Namdi. Suddenly, everything this Negombo youth side is doing correctly. Niluka Janit is the live wire behind it, and you can see that it's taken a rather less than fruitful first half and really turned things around for himself the second half.
Indeed, he's been in the pick of things for Negombo Youth in this second 45 minutes. 15 minutes being played. He's trying to make a difference. And rightly so. He has already done it. It's a matter of Negombo Youth just putting this game into bed. Probably get another goal in, and that will be the game.
Now Niluka Janit once again with the shot straight at the keeper once again. Just a bit buoyed by some of the results he's produced, isn't it, Reshwan? And suddenly Jaira has the ball to run after. Can he keep it in? He can. Absolutely oversteps it. Negombo Youth now coming out with it. The ball coming through once again. And on this occasion, Muhammad Hakim, goal scorer, getting rid of it, contributing there defensively.
Half an hour to be played. Can Sri Lanka Transport Board find that equalizing goal? They get their first corner. So set piece after some time for SLTB.
SLTB, they do have a few big guys there. Can they make this count? Ball swung in there. Good cross. Right area, but not enough support there. Not a single man spotting Jagat Rohana's cross. And now Negombo Youth on the break. Once again, Namdi down the middle, and the ball comes in to Anthony Namdi. Can he turn this one in? He should be doing better, but Janaka Chaminda making sure that he gets no second bite at the cherry. And now SLTB, they've got a man-to-man situation. Need to do something with this. Jagat Rohana gives the ball away immediately. Now Chatamal Fernando pushing it up the other end. Niluka Janit. Ball coming in. Niluka Janit with a beautiful pass. That's the third one. He's not making a mistake from there, is he? And the diminutive winger puts it on an absolute platter for Mohammad Rifkan. And Rifkan making no mistakes. Defense to attack in seconds. First touch under the keeper. And that, well, that should be that really.
Third goal for Negombo Youth, courtesy Mohammad Rifkan.
Niluka Janit has really come out well in this second half. Speaking of how what a forgetful first half he had, but once again SLTB just don't understand what they're trying to gain out of it. Shooting out from the box. Well, they did get their first goal like that, but just meaninglessly shooting outside the box won't help the cause. Currently trailing the game 3-1. Once again goal scorer Mohammad Rifkan wins his side a corner kick.
Suddenly, now that there is a 2-goal cushion, what you can see is that Negombo Youth are playing with a bit more freedom now. Seeing the opportunities arise and really taking advantage of them. taken short. Rifkan finds Niluka Janit. Cross comes in. Anthony Namdi very nearly, but Sudesh Suranga picks it up out of the air. Ball coming in 2-on-1. And well defended by the lads in blue. Slowly but surely on the cross comes in here. Just having another look at that, but slowly but surely what we can see is that the coaching staff for SLTB also losing hope almost. They would have thought there was a game for them to kind of take advantage of, but just one of those days again. Niluka Janit once again. Conceded possession. SLTB, can they make something work? Ratnayaka almost handling it there. I beg your pardon, I think that was Nuwan Jayavira. Yes, it was Nuwan Jayavira, but almost handling it. He does handle it, absolutely handles it.
Probably seen it in the bigger stages as well, if you recall. That quarter-final game, that last World Cup between Argentina and Netherlands. Messi did something like that. Nevertheless, still wave after wave of attacking threats from Negombo youth. Look at Jailat once again with a brilliant ping ball, but Sudesh Suranga with a good save. And that's something you rarely hear. Jayavira now trying to get to the back of this long ball from the keeper. Position still with SLTB. And once again losing it in the final third, but winning it back. But just as we speak, a long ball being played for Niluka. Cuts back in. Has options. Good pass to Pires. Pires beats one. Now once again, Mohammad Hakim from quite far out with a nothing shot.
A substitution now on the cards for SLTB. It's looking like Mohammad Inshaf is going to come in. Potentially in place of another substitute, Jagat Rohana. So a substitute for a substitute.
Substitution for SLTB Sports Club. Jersey number 12, Mohammad Inshaf, coming on for...
Yes, absolutely. That is Jagat Rohana that's coming off, and Mohammad Inshaf taking his
20.
place. So some time to try and make something happen for the young Inshaf.
Jagat Rohana.
So SLTB mixing things up to try and turn something around. They've got a little over 20 minutes to do so. A little over eager there, Mohammad Inshaf, concedes the foul to Mohammad Hakim. Continue to move here, SLTB. If they pull one back, it really changes the narrative of the game, and that is what they should be trying to do. Calm instead of being complacent and not give away possession, but immediately does exactly that. Niluka Janit squares it, and now Anthony Namdi spots a beautiful pass but well intercepted. Now, game suddenly bursting into life a little bit once again.
Indeed, SLTB just bringing on some fresh legs as well. Negombo Youth yet to make a change in the game as we approach the 70th minute mark.
Now suddenly Negombo Youth with an opportunity. Can they make it? Oh, 4-1, but no, just inches wide. And I think once again, to his credit, Mohammad Rifkan did everything ever so beautifully, but the one thing he couldn't do is when you're taking the ball away like that, Reshwan, at that pace, what 99% of people will try to do is open up their body and wrap their foot around it so it curls into the far corner. The way he hit that was always going to swing the other way.
Indeed. Good opportunity gone down begging for SLTB, rather Negombo Youth, try and increase their lead. And well and surely as things stand, it will be Negombo Youth getting their first win of the campaign.
The game really stretching at this point, just as the floodlights come on. And what a waste of an opportunity that was for Anthony Namdi. He did everything he could, but Sudesh Suranga very nearly gifting Negombo Youth a goal on that occasion. Now, what a waste once again. Conversion almost on a rugby pitch there from Jayavira. I have no idea what we will start. Try and get you a replay of that just to help you understand how ridiculous that effort was.
Well, efforts from SLTB have come out of that penalty box, and they're trying to find themselves lucky, like their skipper did earlier this evening. But now once again, Mohammedin Shaf with not the best of controls.
Now once again Rifkan down this right flank. He has two men there for support, Niluka Janit, and he doesn't choose either. He should be squaring it to Niluka Janit or lifting it for Anthony Namdi. Instead, sends it straight at Anthony Namdi along the ground, and defender at all the time in the world. Jayavira once again with some choice words for his teammates, Nuwan Jayavira, but he's just had one of those evenings once again.
Indeed, a repeat performance for SLTB. And as things stand, they'll suffer yet another defeat in the campaign. But on the other hand, Negombo Youth just hanging by the thread in the points table to go through to the Super 8. But a long shot for Negombo Youth.
So no coach Izzadin on the bench here either, Reshwan, which is interesting. I have not been able to quite justify or find out a justifiable reason as to why coach Izzadin is not on the bench at the moment. Are you aware of anything that potentially has transpired and led to his absence? Or
Nope, not so sure why he's not there. And I think that's been the main cause of poor performance for SLTB, especially this evening. as Negombo Youth go to the bench.
So substitution now for Negombo Youth. That's Anthony Namdi's race run. And Sampath Sirivardhana is going to be coming on in his place. So midfielder for a forward.
Negombo Youth. Anthony Namdi, jersey number 25, coming off for jersey number 24, Sampath Sirivardhana.
In line with just that. Sampath Sirivardhana is going to be shoring up the middle of the park here as cross comes in from Inshaf. Inshaf's ball not very good. Suddenly Rifkan, he has options. Tries to get the pass across, but well defended by the SLTB lads. Niluka Janit gets past his man once again and he takes a shot. What a hit that was. Very nearly catches the keeper off guard. He's desperate for another one. Just another look at that hit. Wasn't far there from the back of the net. Chatumal Fernando. He's been fantastic once again today, Chatumal Fernando. Very nearly. It's the right pass definitely by Chatumal Fernando, just not quite coming into effect as well as we'd like.
Sampath Sirivardhana trying to find a teammate from that pass and managing to keep hold of position. And a good diagonal ball being played towards Pires. Pires ups to dribble on his own, but eventually gives it out. What a shot from range, and that's hit the side netting. And Negombo Youth have that capability of just taking things on, because surely they have the win secured here. Jaivir lays that long ball, but a tired winger for SLTB just couldn't win the race.
Approach the last 10 minutes now. Slowly but surely. Jaivir looking for that through pass. Here's an opportunity now. Inshaf with the shot. Very nearly to. And what a shot that was by Mohammad Inshaf. And fair plays Ganesh Krishanta not taking any chances. That was destined for the back of the net.
Indeed, and if that did go, it would have brought some life back into this game.
Ganesh Krishanta furious with his defense. Inshaf in acres of space, absolutely unchecked.
Indeed, now corner kick duties for Jaivir. Takes it shortly. Whips that ball in with plenty of white shirts, but Ganesh Krishantan makes no mistake with the collection. And his distribution not so good. Still under some pressure. In the back, Negombo Youth. Inshaf had an opportunity to try and turn and go at goal. But Jaivir now, rather.
Should be doing better on that occasion, Udeshanta. Ball coming in, the moment seems to have been lost rather, and Negombo Youth now on attack. But Inshaf, that was a very questionable touch. He took the ball so far away from goal when he had no pressure and had the ability to turn as well. And that should be that for that attack. And Janaka Cham in that sweeper role has been rather effective in this game.
Indeed. He's limped his way through this second half. Calm and composed stuff in the back for SLTB. Still managing to keep hold of position. And indeed, haven't they done well to swiftly turn from a defensive mindset to attack, but that pass was not so good, as all the good work done in the back goes in vain.
Now Chatumal Fernando breaking. Janaka Cham in for company. Chatumal Fernando. What a beautiful pass that was to find Niluka Janit. Niluka Janit gets past the defender. Can he square it? No, he loses the ball. A little too eager. Still in play here. Potentially a shot and an absolute mishit by Mohammad Hakim.
Oh my. Brilliant from Sudesh Suranga. But I think Negombo Youth would have done better to at least find the target from that position. And that shot is quite wavered.
It sums up the quality of the game today, isn't it, Reshwan? Negombo Youth should be 5-6 goals ahead really with the chances they've had. They've just been so complacent. And once again, Niluka Janit wins a corner off of that, but this really has been the story of the game so far.
Indeed. And going back to the drawing books, coaches will really think, especially the likes of Negombo Youth think tank, will think that they would have left some goals out there in the park.
And that seems to be the race for Janaka Cham there as well. He's been limping around for the better part of 45 minutes, and finally I think seems like it is unbearable for him. Don't really have too many options on the bench for SLTB. They've made a couple substitutions, so it remains to be seen whether he'll be forced to brave the injury, Reshwan, and stick around, but it does seem to be in terrible discomfort.
Indeed, valiant effort from himself, who's really had to change position this evening as well. It was the heart of the midfield for this SLTB outfit in the previous games, but once again a header just wide away. And Niluka once again missing the target, but nevertheless he's had a brilliant second half. He set his team with a couple of goals. Jaivira putting some pressure on Ganesh as a change for Negombo Youth. Niluka coming off for Kumara Pereira.
Well-deserved break there for Niluka Janit. He's run his race. He's been the best player for his side. He's done his job. And now it's up to his teammates to finish this game off and really put the icing on the cake. So congratulations to Niluka Janit on a fantastic performance today. Deshanta battles it out in the middle of the park, and now suddenly Negombo Youth concede possession. They've got options. And they need to be getting rid of the ball a little bit faster with Deshanta. Bit of a hit. It looks like a soft foul to concede, in my opinion.
Indeed, so. And referee Tharanga Pushpa Kumara was quite convinced. He went to the whistle in first glance, but now once again, Sirivardhana pings a good ball. And Kumara Pereira with his probably first touch of the game finds the target, but fails to beat Sudesh Suranga.
Needs to be running into gaps. They're not getting any support, the two attackers. They've done a decent job of holding up play. Once again, SLTB now looking to recycle possession. That has been the story of the performance, isn't it? Reshwar not quite up to the mark, leaving a lot to be desired. Despite getting into the right positions, they don't make the right decisions, and at this level, sport is all about decision making, isn't it?
Indeed, and that has been quite not so good from both the sides, we could say. With the Negombo Youth winning this game currently quite convincingly as we approach the final 5 minutes of the regular 90 minutes. It's been a very tamed affair between these two sides, even though we have seen goals in it. But coming back to the talk of quality of football, Deshan, I think that's been quite far off from both the sides.
Absolutely, a lot to be desired from both these teams. Both of them, you can understand why they are where they are in the second division, which is a shame really. And now SLTB with an opportunity. Jayavira, he's looking for support. He's got a support player. He needs to be doing. Once again, decision making in question. He needs to be releasing the ball. There was no chance he was beating the keeper from that far out, particularly with very little backlift.
Once again, a shot from range, and if you go into some stats, I think SLTB have taken shots out of the box more than they have taken from inside the box, and I'm just unsure if they are yet to register a shot inside that penalty area.
No problem there, but stoppage has been brought back. Questions will be asked of Negombo Youth as to why their performance has left so much to be desired. Ball comes in, so they're surrounded as well.
Once again, a long range effort, just not being able to find the target. Sudesh Suranga probably had it covered. As we approach the final minute of regular 90 minutes, it's Negombo Youth once again intercepting that ball. But Sudesh Suranga comes out with a good collection, but from his own distribution, he's managed to lose position. Now once again, good through ball being played for Inshaf. And once again, SLTB Jayavira, as he bought his rugby boots for a game of football. And he's taken shots from so far out. And is he trying to find himself lucky? Just don't understand.
Janaka Chaminda once again hitting the deck there. I think this has been quite an exhausting game for him. And just as he hits the deck, 4 minutes of added time announced as well, and I think he's getting back on his feet, and he's been labouring through this game really. He's carried his team to some degree over the course of this tournament, despite them not really being able to pull out any wins or draws for that matter. But Janaka Chaminda has been the player for them, and once again today, despite this injury clearly, he's been so fantastic in holding that defense together to some degree, and credit to him for exactly that. Chatumal Fernando playing that quarterback role almost. Just giving possession away unnecessarily now. Flag raised on the far side. Wonder what that's for. Looks like he's come back from an offside position. Yeah, all three of those.
Substitution for SLTB. Jersey number 2, Uday Shanta, coming off. For jersey number 14, Dinesh Madhushankar.
And Dinesh Madhushankar will get a short run out. Uday Shanta has had a half decent game, but hasn't really been able to influence proceedings one bit. By his standards, I think he will be happy with the run out. Chatumal Fernando. So the conclusion, Reshwan. Of course, Negombo Youth will be the happier of the two sides. But if you were Coach Karunaratne, do you end this game with positive sentiments about your team, or do you count yourself a bit lucky?
I think Negombo Youth can find themselves lucky, because if it was a better attacking team, they would have conceded a goal or two. But as we speak now, once again, good in the back. But area of concern for Coach Karunaratne will be the finishing capabilities of this set of attackers for Negombo Youth. They would have easily won this game quite convincingly, probably 5 goals up, but that's not been the case. But still, a win is a win, and those 3 points will be a massive morale boosting win for these lads in blue. As Sudesh Suranga takes his time, clears the ball. It's now Mohammad Inshaf. 3 on 3, puts in a good ball, but tired legs, just not being able to get to the end of it. Referee Taranga Pushpakumar having a glance at his watch as we approach the final few seconds of this added 4 minutes. And that's it. Negombo Youth getting their first win in the campaign and giving and handing over SLTB yet another defeat, as Negombo Youth will take all 3 points away in this Group B encounter.
So despite what has been a very poor game in terms of quality, Negombo Youth walk away with the win. Sri Lanka Transport Board, bruised and battered, tried their best to put up a fight, and I think particularly the likes of Janaka Chamin, they will be proud of the way they fought despite the odds very much being against them. Just the final formalities, and it's always good throughout this tournament. Something we've seen is that both teams have respected each other and exchanged pleasantries at the end of the 90 minutes. But in what has been a rather poor game in terms of quality, Negombo Youth managed to hold their own, winning 3-1 against a depleted Sri Lanka Transport Board side. So at full time here at the Racecourse International Stadium, from the first game of this game week and the early kickoff today, it's Negombo Youth 3, Sri Lanka Transport Board 1.
Indeed, it's been a convincing and comfortable win for Negombo Youth at the end. And at the halfway mark, it was a 1-1. But then it was Negombo Youth who found their shooting boots and they just scored 2 quick goals to put this game into bed. Niluka Jayalat was in the pick of things for the lads in blue. He had some shots from range. This was a cool finish from Negombo Youth to absolutely put this game into bed and take all 3 points away. But since then, none of the teams found the back of the net. Chances did go down begging for Negombo Youth. And that will be an area of concern for coach Karuna Ratna, how they will try and take some positives into that final game week of this round 1 of the Sri Lanka Football Champions League. And for SLTB, yet another defeat for them. But plenty of positives for SLTB as well. Scored their first goal in the tournament, broke the deadlock in the 9th minute, but since then they have been quite off colour. And it's been a very eventful evening out here as we have yet another game. But just before that, we have Nawod down there with the player of the match.
අප සමග එකතු වෙනවා මෙම තරංගී වීරයා නිගම්බ යුත් කණ්ඩායමේ දිනුක පීරිස් දිනුක මුලින්ම සුබපතනවා තරංගී වීරයා වීම පිළිබඳව පළවෙනි තරංගය නිගම්බ යුත් කණ්ඩායමට සෙල්ලම් කරන්නේ කණ්ඩායමක් වශයෙන් බොහොම අසීරු මුල් තරඟ කීපයක් තමයි තිබ්බේ. ඉතින් අද තරඟේ ඔබේ performance එක ගැන කතා කරොත් එහෙම සෑමකටපත් වෙනවා.
සෑමකටපත් වෙනවා. තව පුළුවන් තව වාසිය තියෙනවා. ඉදිරියට යන්න තව බලන්න.
ඔයාගේ අයියත් දිලිප් පීරිස් නැෂනල් ප්ලේයර් කෙනෙක් නැෂනල් ටීම් එකට රෙප්‍රසන්ට් කරලා තින්නේ. ඉතින් මොන වගේ සහයෝගයක්ද අයියගෙන් ලැබෙන්නේ? ඒ කියන්නේ පළවෙනි තරඟේ මොන වගේ අවවාදයක්ද අයියගෙන් ලැබුණේ?
ගොඩක් ලොකු වෙනවා පාස් කරන්න කියලා තමයි කියන්නේ ගොඩක්.
ඒ වගේම තමයි දැන් කණ්ඩායමක් වශයෙන් දැන් තව එක තරඟයක් තමයි ගෲප් ස්ටේජ් එකේ තියෙන්නේ. පොයින්ට්ස් 4ක් තියෙනවා. සුපර් 8 වටේට යෑමට අසීරු තත්ත්වයක තමයි තියෙන්නේ. නමුත් මේ වගේ ජයග්‍රහණයක් මොන වගේ මොටිවේෂන් එකක්ද ඒ කියන්නේ රිලෙගේෂන් රවුන්ඩ් එකේදී කම්බැක් වශයෙන් ලැබෙන්නේ?
අපිට තව ගෝල් ගහගත්තා නම් යන්න චූටි chance එකක් හරි තියෙනවා බලමු අපි.
බොහොම ස්තුතියි ඉදිරි තරඟවල සුබපත.
Thank you.
Well, that was player of the match, Sulakshana Piris, who was really remarkable down that left flank for Negombo Youth this evening. And his first game for the club as well. So that will be quite the proud moment for the young man, as he helped his side get their first win in the campaign over SLTB Sports Club. We have the Negombo coach down there with the interview.
සමග එකතු වෙනවා නිගම්බ යුත් කණ්ඩායමේ ප්‍රධාන පුහුණුකරු ජීපීසී කරුණාරත්න කෝච් මුලින්ම සුබවදනවා පළවෙනි ජයග්‍රහණය මෙම තරඟාවලියේදී මොන වගේ දැන් SLTB කණ්ඩායමත් බොහොම අසිරු කණ්ඩායමක් අසිරු තත්ත්වයක තිබෙන කණ්ඩායම තමයි. නමුත් පළවෙනි අර්ධයේ මෙච්චර නිගම්බ යුත් කණ්ඩායම වශයෙන් දක්ෂතා දක්වන්නට නොහැකි වුණා. නමුත් කොහොමද අද තරඟ ගැන ඔබේ සෑමයකට පත් වෙනවා?
අද තරඟ ගැනදී සායමයකට මේ පත් වෙන්න අමාරුයි. මොකද කියනවනම් තව ගෝල් ගහන්න තිබ්බා අපිට. මොකද අපේ ටාගට් එකක් තිබ්බා. මේකට වැටිපුර ගෝල් ගහලා ඉවරලා මොකද ඊළඟ මැච් එකේ අපිට පොඩ්ඩක් chance එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒක බලන්න තිබුණා. නමුත් ඒක අපිට පොඩ්ඩක් ගිලී ගියා. මොකද 3.1කින් දිනාගත්ත එක සාමාන්‍ය විදිහකට මම සාමාන්‍යයකට පත් වෙනවා.
මේ වගේ ජයග්‍රහණයක් තව එක තරගයක් ඉතිරිව තිබෙනවා. සුපර් 8 වටේට යෑමටත් පොඩි අවස්ථාවක් තිබෙනවා. නමුත් විශේෂයෙන් රෙලෙගේෂන් රවුන්ඩ් එකට යද්දි වගේම මොන වගේ මොටිවේෂන් එකක්ද කණ්ඩායමක් වශයෙන් තිබෙන්නේ? දැන් ඒ වගේම අලුත් ක්‍රීඩකයෙකුත් ඇවිල්ලා හොඳ දක්ෂතා දක්වලා තිනවා. ඉතින් මොන වගේ දෙයක්ද කණ්ඩායමක් වශයෙන් ඉදිරි බලාපොරොත්තු?
ඉදිරි මැච් එක ඉතින් ජයග්‍රහණ ලබන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. සබෝ දුරට ඉතින් අපි සුපර් 8 එන්න තමයි මේ අපේ මේක බලාපොරොත්තු තියෙන්නේ. සබෝ දුරට සමහරවට ගිලියන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද ජාවලින් මැච් එක ඒගොල්ලෝ දින්නේ තෝක ඩ්‍රෝ වුණත් ඒගොල්ලෝ අතුල් වෙනවා මේකේ. ජයග්‍රහණ ලබනවා ඒගොල්ලෝ.
ඉදිරි තරඟවල සුබවදනා කෝච්.
Thank you.
Well, he'll be a happy man as his team take away all 3 points in a much anticipated game for them. They really needed to come out there and get all 3, and they have done the job as they beat SLTB 3-1. And later on in the night at 8:30 p.m. Local time, we have Super Sun taking on Pelican Sports Club, and will well and surely be quite the matchup later on this evening. And then tomorrow we have a couple of games. Crystal Palace taking on Serendip at the evening kickoff game, and then at the night under the lights here at Racecourse, Matra City take on a Solid Sports Club. And then on Sunday to wrap up week 6, it will be St. Mary's who take on Sri Lanka Police. And then the much anticipated game of the week, Javelin taking on Saunders here under the lights at Racecourse, and will well and surely be quite a thrilling encounter for all the viewers. And that's it from us for now, as do join with us at 8:30 p.m. local time as Super Sun take on Pelicans Sports Club on Friday night in a couple of hours.